What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Morning Cup. It is now no longer the Morning Cup with Josh. It is now just the Morning Cup because it's going to be our show now.
It's our show.
It's our show.
Thank you for letting me join, Josh.
You're welcome. Well, yeah, you're welcome. This was your idea.
Yeah, all right. Well, all right, so we're here. Thank you for joining us. We are hopefully going to put this out weekly. I don't know, Josh, what are we going to do?
We're going to try and put it out weekly.
We're going to try to put it out weekly. All right.
That's the plan
So
for now.
The plan is we're going to have a cup of coffee so you can start off your morning. We're going to talk about the cup of coffee, and then, as always, Josh is going to give us a little quote of the day. So first, I guess let's start off with what we're drinking. Josh, what did you brew up for us today?
So today we are drinking the Ethiopian Pour Over coffee.
Yeah, and that is made by a little quiet company, a roaster that we work closely with over in Springfield at Sprout. Lee Winkler is the head roaster. He's been in the coffee industry for 20 plus years, and this is personally one of my favorite cups of coffee. I don't know about you, but I love it.
It's up there. There's other ones that I personally would take over this one, but this one's really good as far as it's different, which I think is good. I think different is good, especially when it comes to trying new things and getting out of your comfort zone. And personally, the first time I tried this was the cold brew version, and I didn't really like it. And then I tried this version, the regular Ethiopian pour over, and I liked it a lot.
So when you first tried it when it was a cold brew, what about it was kind of off for you?
I didn't like the different flavor. I was so used, because I'm not a big cold brew drinker in general, but it was so different from the traditional cold brew that it just kind of threw me off.
Okay.
I guess.
Yeah, so it's supposed to have more of a berry forward flavor, ends with kind of like a little bit of chocolate, so it kind of tastes like a cherry chocolate kind of finish.
Yeah.
I would agree the cold brew was actually pretty strong with the berry.
It was very strong. It was
sour.
like very fruity, almost like a floral. I didn't really like it, but this is way different. I think the berryness is kind of toned back a little bit, and like you said, it's also got kind of like a dry finish, which is unique, and I actually really like it.
Yeah, give it a sip, and let's
Okay.
walk through what you can taste.
So yeah, right off the bat, it's kind of a right off the bat, it's kind of got like that berry taste to it, but it's not so pungent.
Yeah, it's not super sour or super tart.
No, it's very smooth. Just kind of it's very smooth coffee. It's not like espresso, where espresso is very kind of hits you right in the taste buds. This is very smooth, and even if you're not a coffee drinker, you could probably drink this and like it, because even a regular just dark roast coffee is a little more bold than this. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so this is a light roast. Everything Lee does is a light roast. On the spectrum, where do you think you fall in? Are you more of a light, medium, or dark guy?
I personally like medium to dark coffee, but I drink everything. I drink straight espresso, just straight espresso. So obviously I like very dark, bold coffees.
Yeah.
And but I like a light roast too. But it's definitely not my first choice.
Not your first choice.
Not a light roast. This is very good, but
so what would be your first? What do you want to try next? Sumatra?
I think that one, I've had it before, but I've never really done an in-depth like this before. But I've had it once before, and I think that might be my favorite pour over I've had.
Yeah. When you kind of smell it, you kind of smell the berryness, and I don't know. I really, really enjoy it. But I definitely think it's a hit or miss kind of thing. You either really like it or you don't.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's how most coffee is, though.
Yeah. Have you enjoyed the process of drinking espresso lately?
Yes. Yeah, one thing that we started doing, well, I know you guys have been doing it, but when I started working here, I got to experience fine-tuning the grinder to get the best tasting espresso. And and it's just the process of that is it's to the point now where I can drink espresso and I can tell you, what needs to be changed.
Yeah, it's actually pretty amazing how quickly you picked that up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But it's crazy because most people would drink espresso and they wouldn't know the difference.
Right.
But we had that one last week that was so perfect where you could pinpoint all three like flavor layers.
What are those flavor layers?
Oh crap! Good judge. I think it's like a sour right off the bat.
Yep.
And then it's supposed to get sweet, and then really bitter at the end.
Correct. So yeah, so you're saying that day we got that kind of like perfect
like
roller
you
coaster.
sip it and it was like kind of sour, but it wasn't like too like acidic and sour, and then it got sweet for like literally like a half a second, maybe a second, and then it had like that bitter finish that wasn't like a long finish, but it wasn't like a dry finish either. It was just
it wasn't like a.
It leaves a bitterness in your mouth, but it's not like just there forever.
Yeah, it's not like
it's espresso. It's hard to explain unless you like really just drink straight espresso. I think because if you get like a latte, you can't really tell the difference in the espressos when you add mixtures and milk and flavoring and all that stuff.
Right. The one thing I think Braulio told me, like, you know that like dry feeling that you're saying in your mouth? I guess that's bitter flavor, and I never knew that for a while. I thought it was just like...
Really?
Apparently. That's what I've been told. So, like, when your mouth gets
I'm going to have to talk to Braulio about this.
when you, like, drink or eat something and you, like, get that, like...
Dryness?
That's the bitterness.
Well, then...
That's because it's the last part of your tongue that the flavor gets to.
So what you're saying is this is...
Talk us through this journey. Let's see if we can get the sour, sweet, and bitter here.
It's mostly sweet for me.
Mostly sweet?
Just because I think it's that kind of berry flavoring to it. Or not flavoring, but those are the flavor notes in the coffee. It's not... I mean, right there I did kind of get like a bitterness aftertaste. Like that dry...
It's a little slower.
Little bitter, but... I mean, there's not really a sourness or an acidity.
Acidity?
Acidity, that's what it is. Acidity to it. It's very just kind of like sweet all the way through.
Yeah.
To me, anyways. I mean,
I
that's
feel
what my taste buds are telling me. Because everyone's different.
Everyone is different. I am getting what you're saying, though. It's like, it's not much of the sour. It's just a little bit on the front end. And it's mostly sweet. And then it's got that slow, like, wine bitterness in the back of your throat.
But it is also, I mean, it's brewed in such a different way from espresso.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I know that espresso's good. Maybe we should start drinking espresso on this show.
That'd be fun. On the rocks, too.
On the rocks.
I like espresso ice.
Days I run on the rocks.
I do like it, like, on the rocks, though.
Yeah. You like adding bitters to it and how that tastes, right?
I've been dabbling in that.
Dabbling.
I don't think I've had one that I was like, wow, this is really good. I had that one that had lemon and like a little bit of vanilla, and it was all right. Definitely better on the rocks, but straight espresso, you just kind of gotta just drink it, I think.
Yeah, you gotta spray it and then just go for it.
Yeah, but it's like drinking black coffee. Like they're not black coffee, but what's a good way to say it? Like just natural, like it's brewed and that's how you drink it. I think that's the best way to actually get the taste.
Absolutely.
And I mean, if you add in creamers, and there's nothing wrong with that, but if you add in creamers and different flavorings, I think it kind of alters the flavor notes and stuff.
100% does, yeah.
So I think if you're really trying to get a grasp for if you like a certain type of coffee, you just have to drink it just straight and natural and neat. Is that a coffee term? Like if you drink coffee neat, is that...
Let's make it a term. Yeah, espresso on the rocks and coffee neat. I like it. We do have a bar theme here.
I know we do.
So
I'd like to call myself a bartender, even though I'm just a barista.
Fun fact: barista's bartender in Italian.
I told you.
He knew it.
I mean, I didn't say that, but I said it's the same thing.
It is the same thing.
I talked to my sister about it because she was a bartender.
Right.
She was like, so I'm a barista? I said, no.
No.
But I'm a bartender.
But you're a bartender.
Yeah.
So what do you want to learn more about coffee? Because that's kind of what I want to do with this. I want to try new coffees.
Yeah, I do too. I would love to do a little more research too. Maybe
more research. Okay.
While we do this, kind of like talk about more how it's roasted too.
Okay.
Well, and I know there's there was a coffee that I had down in Texas that was fire roasted, and it was literally roasted over like a fire, and it was like the weirdest tasting, but it was like a good weird, I guess. Maybe we should get a bag of that. That'd be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that kind of stuff. I think it's just I want to learn more about the process of how the coffee's like goes from the because it's a fruit.
Yes, it is a fruit.
To this cup right
to
here.
juice. We're drinking juice.
Fruit to juice.
Fruit
it
to
is.
juice.
Technically, yeah. Coffee is just a juice.
Coffee is just a juice.
Well, I don't think so, but...
No. It's definitely an art. There's a lot to it.
There is, and people don't realize that. I definitely didn't realize that until probably about 6 months ago when I started drinking a lot of different coffees. And you go to these different shops, and it's like, why does this shop have the same type of coffee, but it tastes this much different? And you really start to realize kind of like how different it can be just from shop to shop, even if they carry the same coffee.
Absolutely. It is crazy that just doing little things, like if you change the grind size ever so slightly.
Like the slightest bit, or if you have it pour or grind for 5.1 seconds versus 5.2, it'll make it that much more bitter, or that much more just like
and that's sour. Because of the weight.
The weight. That's right. You weigh everything.
You weigh everything.
We got scales all over the place.
All over the place.
We got 2 of them.
Yeah, so... Yeah, even I think Jack was telling me that you guys were dialing it in one day, and you were like, "Oh, it's close enough," and he was like, "Oh no, just take that out and see what it tastes like."
Oh, and it tasted so much. Like I thought, it tasted good to me.
Right.
Like I had it, and I was like, "Oh, that's good espresso. I think it's good." And we like played with it just a little bit more, and we like took the smallest little bit out, and it was that much more like precise in the flavor notes.
Is that when you kind of started realizing like how
a small change can affect it? Yeah. And there was one day where we were messing with the time to change the weight, and it still wasn't tasting good, and that's when we messed with the coarseness.
The grind size.
Yeah, the grind size, and we made it look just like the tad bit finer, and it was just like that was pinpoint. Perfect espresso.
That's kind of like how we got to notice that coffee was a little bit more of a art form. Is when we went up to Ferris Coffee in Grand Rapids, we had an espresso class, and he pulled a shot and said, "Here, try this." And we're like, "Oh yeah, this is really good." And he goes, "Yeah, it's garbage." He didn't even taste it. He was like, "I'm not even gonna taste that."
Yeah.
And then he like dialed it in, did his thing, and then we're like, "Oh," it's almost like, I don't want to say mind blowing, but it is kind of mind blowing that you're like, "Oh wow," like. Well,
that's what you guys did for me. Was you guys had me try one, and I was like, it tastes pretty good, and you were like, "That's terrible," and I was like, "Oh." And then you guys kind of talked me through the process of just dialing everything in and making it like good.
Yeah.
And actually a quality espresso.
And I actually started noticing that in your podcast that when you were doing the 6 weeks of coffee, you were starting to like actually think about how these things tasted. And I think you even said that you went to a place that had the same drip coffee, and you're like,
it was the same drip coffee, but it tasted a little bit different.
Right. And that's so like espresso to pour over. Like if we wanted to dial this in more, we could mess with the grind size, how much we put into it, the ratio, and all that. So like we could try to dial it in more, but it's a little bit less. Like when you get into batch and pour overs, it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah,
the degree of error is wider. So,
see, I'm learning stuff right now.
You're learning stuff right now. What else do you want to learn in the?
The card is full.
The card is full, so we're just going straight audio from here on out.
All right, then we're going straight.
We're still recording on here.
Well, then we just won't post this one on Facebook or anything.
Oh, we'll post it on Facebook.
Okay, and then we'll just put a black screen and just say, sorry.
Yeah. All right, so we'll wrap it up then, camera.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
Tell us the quote of the day, Josh. As this is the second segment of the Morning Cup with Josh.
Yes, with Josh. It's just the Morning Cup now. The Morning Cup with Josh and Tristan, or Tristan and Josh, whichever one sounds better.
Either way.
Or just the Morning Cup.
The Morning Cup it is.
But I'm still the host, you're the co-host.
Correct.
Okay.
This is your show.
Darn right. Darn tootin' it is. Quote of the day is, you always pass failure on your way to success.
Ooh, that's a very good one.
Which I think...
Do you want me to...
you go first.
I don't care. It's your show.
Well, you can go first.
Okay.
You can go first, but yeah.
Well, I'm interested to hear what you think, so you go first.
Okay. But maybe I was interested. All right, I'll just go first. It's whatever, I guess. I'll figure it out. No, I think it's a very true thing, and it's something that people don't always think about, that the road to success is never easy. I mean, even if it's a short-term thing, and like when I read this and I was talking to you about it beforehand, what came to my mind was in sports. And
well, you said you never fail, so
yeah, but that was a joke. I'm not that egotistical.
You're lucky there's no camera.
No, so when I played hockey, I had a pretty successful like high school hockey career, but that doesn't mean everything just came easily. You know, like the first time we won like a state championship, I definitely wasn't on like the top end of my ability, I guess. I wasn't one of the best players on the team.
Right.
That one,
you were young, right?
I didn't contribute as much as I could have.
That was your earlier years, right?
I was a sophomore in high school.
Okay.
And before that, freshman year, we got third place in states. And that like made me so mad because I was like, I was so close to being like a freshman. And if I would have done that, I would have won a state championship all throughout high school, every year. So we failed, and it made me mad. And
so do you think it made you better?
I do. And then after my sophomore year, when we won, and then all the really, really high-level players that were older than me left to go to college or whatever, stopped playing, then it kind of put me in that position where I was like, I need to get better. And since I knew that, like, you know, I need to get as good as I can, and I can't fail the team, it drove me to success. And, like, there was definitely hiccups, you know, along the way and injuries and stuff. But at the end of the day, I found that short-term success, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously I'm not playing in college. I'm not a professional hockey player by any means. But, like, that was, like, for me in high school, my senior year, when I won my last hockey season, I won again. That was, like, all the stuff that happened beforehand that, like, was kind of a setback. It was, like, it's whatever. It was worth it.
Yeah,
because I'm successful. I was successful in terms of my hockey career.
Right. You had a goal. And you
I would say if somebody asked me if my high school hockey career was successful, I would say yes.
Well, that's good. I would say 3 state championships are successful.
Yeah, I mean,
I never watched you play. So.
Some might say that. You know, some might say it doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, I got medals. That's just ribbon with a piece of metal on the end. But
I got medals.
It's something to me that like it's more. Like, it's more of an emotional success than it is like I said, I got a piece of ribbon with a chunk of metal on the end.
Yeah, you also got memories.
What is that monetary what's that value to me in the end? And it's nothing except me telling myself like I did good.
Right. Well, it's kind of like a lesson in life where like because I kind of go back to sports when I hear that is like you'll learn more from a loss than you will from wins because you'll see your weaknesses and improve on them. And winning kind of just masks the bad things. Cause
for sure.
we made it through. But like, you know, sports in general and high school careers and stuff, like, I kind of see it as like your first 18 years of your life is like one chapter.
Oh, yeah,
so
for
like,
sure.
So like during your, that first chapter or first book, you had a goal and you achieved them. Yeah. So like, it doesn't matter later on in life what it means to other people, but to you, it's you know good memories, maybe some lessons about hard work. Yeah, because I mean,
and I think that's the biggest takeaway from stuff like that, and something my coach has always kind of made me remember was that no matter what happens, it's a team thing.
Right,
you either win as a team or you lose as a team. And some people don't understand that. That was something I was lucky enough to understand.
Yeah.
That, if you lose, you can't just put the blame on people because if you fail as a team, then that's going to, hopefully, if you're a true team and a family, then you're going to succeed as a team as well.
Yeah, I'd agree. That's pretty good insight. Yeah. No, that's a good, I like that quote a lot, especially in a time like right now. Where things are hectic and all that.
People need to just calm down, I think.
Yeah. It's tough, though.
It's tough because everyone has their own way of thinking about things.
Right. And also, like, I'm thinking more of an aspect of, like, business at this point. Or, like, a lot of people's livelihoods are put at stake.
Oh, and it's crazy.
Right. But it's definitely how you... move forward and I guess it's not really this time's not really a failure, but it's like okay, it forces you to think outside the norm. Yeah, which is what I think failures do.
Yeah, for sure, and especially in a time right now there's so many businesses, not even small businesses, or not just small businesses, but corporations that are still getting hit in a negative way about this or by this, and it makes them think, what's a different way that we can stay like afloat, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen like there's businesses that never do curbside pickup. Like Red Lobster's doing curbside pickup right now. And it's like you have to think outside of what you normally do because, you have to figure out a way to still be successful.
Right.
Because if you don't, that's when you fail.
Exactly.
Or you have to push through whatever failure or whatever hardship is going on.
Right. If you don't learn from these things, that's where you fail.
That's the worst thing is if there's a failure and you don't learn anything from it. And I've seen that happen to people.
What's the other quote? Insanity is
doing the same thing.
It's doing the same thing, expecting a different outcome.
Yeah, where it's like if you fail and you keep doing the same thing and you keep failing, then you should have the common sense to change what you're doing and try and alter what's going on to try and make you successful.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I think success is a very relative term.
Yeah, it is.
And I mean, so like my idea of success is probably way different than your idea of success in certain matters, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you have to learn from your mistakes and your failures to be your idea of successful.
Right.
And if you don't do that, then
I honestly think because you've asked this to me before, like, what's my definition of success? And I think it's honestly just keep on going, doing the things that you want to do. And like, success isn't a binary thing. It's not a 1 or a 0. It's, it's whatever drives you to be doing whatever you will do. Like if it's
money, like good for you.
Right.
I used to say that I used to like tell myself like success is not about the money. Like if you're trying to be successful for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. But that's what I thought. And if somebody else thinks like that, it depends. I mean, if you were raised a certain way, stuff like that. If your idea of success is having, money, then that's good. Good for you. Personally, it's not something that's super important to me. I think my idea of success is just being happy because at the end of the day, in 60 years, 70 years, I want to be able to say like, yeah, I was happy. Whether what I did, was good or bad to other people. At the end of the day, if I'm happy, then I'd say I was successful.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, you can take that and you can think about it a different way because that's what. That's what it's all about. Everyone has different ways to think about things, but.
So I got one question for you before we wrap it up. Actually, we can go forever. The mic's gone, or the camera's gone now.
But I like a half hour. So.
Same. So one thing I've asked a lot of people in my podcasting career is, what's the biggest setback that had propelled you? If setback or failure, I like using the word failure because to me it doesn't trigger like a bad thing.
Yeah.
But what's your biggest setback or failure that actually propelled you to greater success?
That's a really good question.
I can tell he doesn't watch our podcast, Jack.
No, I just don't know how to answer it. I'm thinking.
He's thinking. I'll give you an example of ours in Cafe Rica. I've said it a million times, but one of the things was when we were starting out in 2017, I think, or 18. Yeah, 17. We went to a Blues Fest in Kalamazoo, and it was our first event. We were super green to this business world, and so we were like, oh, this is going to be awesome. This is going to be great. We're going to sell a lot of coffee. People are going to love it. We're going to get our business off the ground.
You were thinking best outcome.
Yeah, absolutely.
You thought you were going to walk in there and just sell everything you brought.
That we're going to kill it. We had a very positive outcome. We were excited. We got there, and we didn't sell a thing all weekend. It was a 2-day event. Didn't sell one thing. I think maybe one bag of coffee because someone felt bad for us because they saw us the day before. but like literally like almost nothing. But we got to sit down there the first day for like 16 hours straight. Excuse me, 16 hours straight. And we got to talk about what do we want to do with our business. Jackson happened to have a growler full of cold brew, and it was just there to drink. He had been just making it for fun, and I tasted it. I was like, man, this is really, really good. And so throughout our conversations, we decided we wanted to sell that in bottles and cups and all this, and kind of take our company that direction. And because of that, we then went to the Can Do Kitchen boot camp, learned more about the food industry, learned how to bottle our cold brew, started doing that, and that turned us into the cargo units, which then is just a big domino effect to here we are now.
Yeah, here you guys are in your
right
in an awesome shop that is forever home.
Right, correct. So that was our biggest failure.
So I guess the way I think about this is as I'm very young,
right,
and I don't own a business,
right.
I'm going to school. So
Correct.
For me, as far as like my adulthood life, I really haven't experienced a big setback like that.
Right.
But every time that I get asked questions like this, I always go back to sports because sports was like such a big part of my.
It was your life.
Yeah, like back in high school, it was like I'd go to work or I would go to school and I worked at the ice rink and then I practiced and I would go to games on the weekends and all this stuff. But I think probably my biggest one would be my senior year. And we had a tournament at the rink. So it was like the league playoffs. So all the teams in our league came to our rink and we played in a tournament. And we were like so amped up. We were like, we're going to win. We're going to win the championship at our own rink with all of our families and friends in the stands. And we were playing our rivals, which was Alpena. And there was lots of like hitting, fighting, stuff like that. And we lost. We lost 1-0 at our own rink.
That's rough.
It was terrible. I remember going to the locker room and it was just dead silent. Everyone was just sitting there with their heads down. Our coaches came in. They didn't yell. The coaches just came in. They said, you guys know what you got to do next weekend. Because the next weekend was the state finals. And the top 2 teams in the league go. So we lost and we go to the finals. Or the state championship, which is the 2 leagues. Mm-hmm. And, oh man, we were so amped up. And I mean, we killed it. And we didn't lose a game. We were winning, by like 3 or 4 goals every game. And then after that, then it was the top 2 teams of that tournament that went to the another finals thing. And we won that too. But it was like, that was such a big setback for me because it's like we were going into that tournament so amped up and we beat them at their home rink in a tournament like earlier in the year. And we were like, yeah, like we're going to come in here, we're going to kill them. And I think complacency got to us.
Okay.
We thought we were going to just, it was like, oh, we got home rink advantage. We're going to kill it.
Right. And you guys got comfortable. Yeah,
we got way too comfortable because most of the other teams that we played against were not to our level. I think we should have been in a different league, but so we played Alpena and we were just like, kind of on our high horse, and we definitely were messing around in the locker room and warm-ups and stuff, and we weren't taking anything seriously, and I think our coaches saw that, because after the game, they just didn't say anything. So do you think if you guys would have won that game, you guys would have won the tournament afterwards? I don't know. I think it's hard to say, because it's kind of just like a big what if. Right. And I personally don't know. I think it would have made them mad because they got knocked out before semifinals. I think they went in too comfortable for the big tournament, because what we realized is that tournament at home was like, yeah, okay, we got second place. This isn't the goal. The goal is the big banner and, the big medals, not these little, like, it was important to us because it was at home, but in the grand scheme of things, that tournament didn't matter. Right. And we realized that, and I think that big setback is what propelled us to win 2 more state championships in the same season, one for the state and then one for the league. Okay. It's kind of hard to explain the way the tournaments are set up. It's dumb. It's the dumbest thing. Because there's 2 different leagues. So there's 2 divisions in the league. There was the West, and then there was the Metro, which is all Detroit area teams. So the first tournament that was here was just the West, and then Maha was like the whole state, but it was two different. It was Division 1, Division 2. We were in Division 1, and the Metro teams were in Division 2, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So we kind of played the same teams, but it was teams that weren't from our league. And then the third tournament that we also won was the top 2 teams from Division 1, and then the top 2 teams from the Metro.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we went up there. Or no, it was 3 teams from Metro and us. And we went in there, and then 2 teams dropped out for some reason, and we won. Best 2 out of 3.
Okay.
We won 2 games in a row because we're the best.
2 games.
We did.
Well, that makes sense.
We beat Detroit Catholic Central.
Oh, that's a big team.
I get excited talking about this stuff. It's such a big part of my life. I don't know.
I mean, you're only 20, so it's pretty much
20. I mean, it's like, yeah, I graduated. I graduated not even 2 years ago, man.
Not even 2 years ago. He's already got a career as a barista. Anyways. All right. So if you're listening out there, let us know what you think about the quote that Josh got us today.
Also, if you guys have some good coffees you want us to try,
absolutely,
let us know, or you can just send it.
Either way, yeah.
Either way.
You'll have to talk to Josh on that. He's coordinating everything. This is the Morning Cup. All right, take us out.
Whether you guys are listening in the morning, the day, or the night, thanks for tuning in to the Morning Cup. We'll catch you guys next time.